Good day, YouTubers. Time for a spot of royalty. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle in paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, we're revisiting tonight with Vladimir Putin and the spoof, the comedy spoof by the BBC, which is basically, tongue-in-cheek saying Meghan is trailer trash and she wants to knife Kate Middleton. And I find this interesting because in the first reading on this, the Queen, there's several reasons I find this interesting. The Queen was not upset by this at all. She seemed actually delighted in the cards. She got 2 hearts. She got 5 diamonds. Meghan, on the other hand, was just completely off the rails and apoplectic. She's just, wow, she's literally gonna go knife somebody. The other thing I find interesting, so there's no way that the Queen didn't know about this. Okay, because this is BBC. Okay, and the BBC is essentially the government. The Queen is the head of state officially, and there's just no way that the Queen and the Crown didn't see this coming. Okay, this is not a private citizen. This is not Samantha Markle coming out with a book. This is not Lizzie Cundy coming out with a book. And they're like, wow, that came out of nowhere. This is the BBC. There's so many leaks in this ship. There's no way that they wouldn't see this coming. And yet there it is, and it's not just on nationally televised TV. It's on the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, which is funded by the government. Okay, so that makes me wonder. That makes me think that the Queen could have stopped this at any time, and she didn't. And so I want to look at the Crown's possible involvement. Geit, the Crown, the Queen, okay? Because there's a lot of issues there, and is this payback? Is the Queen now working to remove Meghan from the palace because first you completely defame somebody's character first you kill their reputation, then you kill them, and you get everyone to attack them? Is the Queen setting up a divorce for Harry and Meghan? There's a lot of issues, okay? And the media tells us who to love and who to hate, okay? Vladimir Putin is someone that we're told to hate. Okay, there's that big scandal, did the Russians, well, that's Vladimir Putin. Did the Russians interfere with the American elections? Well, of course they did, but because that's what they do. And the Israelis did it, and other countries were interfering in our elections, trying to sway things this way or that. Okay, and the people who are doing this the worst are the Democrats themselves. They steal everything. Anyway. Okay, so, but that doesn't mean there's collusion. That's what the KGB does. That's what the Israeli, whatever they're called, does. That's what countries do. They influence things. They send their secret services to go and influence things, and that's just par, man. Okay, but here, it seems that now. Okay, and so we're kind of told to hate Putin. We're told constantly to hate Putin. We're told constantly to hate Donald Trump. And it's so bad that the New York Times said to its reporters, you can no longer go on certain CNN shows because they're so biased. Don Lemon, I forget which ones they are, but there's several that New York Times reporters can no longer are told officially not to go on these CNN shows because they're so biased, because they just preach hate against Donald Trump. Okay, and they're not independent anymore. Okay, so we're told to hate Vladimir Putin. We've been told to love Meghan Markle. That's not true of Harry. We're not told to love Harry. Harry gets caught in scandal. So we were being told to love Meghan, love Meghan, love Meghan. Well, now that seems to be changing even in the mainstream media. That is very significant. That's very significant that the BBC itself has come out with this show casting, it's just a comedy show, but casting Meghan in a negative light. Okay, so let's go over some of the stuff quickly. So Tonight with Vladimir Putin is a spoof chat show that uses performance capture technology. This is performance capture technology to turn comedians into 3D digital characters. Both episodes to be shown tomorrow night include a feature entitled Meghan Markle's Royal Sparkle. Okay, Sparkles. The Duchess of Sussex character takes planted questions from a studio audience. She's asked, "What makes you angry?" and replies with an anecdote about the Duchess of Cambridge asking to borrow her hairbrush. This is Meghan. "I say no, because that's gross, and then I leave my room and come back, and I can tell she's used my hairbrush anyway, because it's covered in skanky hair that's going gray, and I say, 'Stay the F out of my trailer, I'll cut you, Kate,'" she yells. Okay. The show also makes fun of her relationship with her father, Thomas Markle. "I'd just like to know about your dad," an audience member asks. "Great question. Next," the Duchess replies. When she's asked by a woman what it's like being married to the Duke, Harry, she responds, "I'm just wondering why you're so interested there, Missy. I mean, what's that about? Do you have a problem with me and Harry? Are you trying to lay claim to my man?" She then challenges the questioner to a fight and saying, "We can go right now, bitch, you and me." So let's do a mini Celtic. What is the Queen's involvement and knowledge of this prior to its airing? Because I guarantee you she had to know. This is the BBC, man. What is her knowledge and involvement? Did she even take part, actively? Oh my. Oh, interesting. Because there's just no way this came as a shock to the Queen. Okay, what's the Queen's knowledge and involvement? Strength, deeply rooted and strong. Snake, very long-term planning. The snake lies in the grass and waits for the gazelle to come across and then strikes. So the snake moves very slowly, very methodically, and waits in the right place, sets the traps. Okay, setting a strong trap. The best interest of the crown, making big changes behind, commitment on top. Okay, this could be the marriage of Harry and Meghan, or this could be committed to this course of action, this long-term plan. The world, what the world sees, what all the people see. Transforming the situation and deeply rooted. Okay, so this is part of a long-term plan. Let's look at this snake. Tell us more about this long-term plan. Because there's so many scandals. There's the Archie drama. I mean, the nuclear codes are easier to get than a clear picture of Archie at this point. There's the conflict between the brothers, Kate and Meghan. Meghan was apparently secretly recording in the palace and they kicked her out. There's all this lavish spending, and this has come up again. $1 million on clothes in the first year, $500,000 spent just on a single trip for the baby shower. The Frogmore renovation is rolling in, $3 million and counting. The leaked William and Rose Hanbury affair, Samantha and Thomas Markle. I mean, it's a dumpster fire. So what is this? What is this Queen of Spades? That's interesting, yeah. Okay, 9 hearts, 9 diamonds, 3 spades. The conflict on television and in the media And key events, 1821, Six Hearts, karmic relationship, the plan for the future and the relationship, key events, working the television. So this is really, this is a part of the plan. You defame the person before you kill them. You kill the person before you kill. So this is part of a long-term plan. Is this payback for the attacks on Will and Kate? Okay, it seems that Meghan and her PR people exposed this Rose Hanbury affair. Whether you believe that there was a Rose Hanbury affair or not, that would have come from Meghan's PR. Okay, so Meghan was very much attacking Will and Kate, and it was just relentless through the many accounts controlled by, Meghan and her people. So, is this payback for the attacks on Will and Kate? Okay, because they're supposed to be united. Okay, and I would note how easily William got through the Rose Hanbury accusations, how easily Will and Kate got through that. Wow, how interesting. Okay, it just didn't stick to them. And look at what's happening to Meghan. She's getting attacked more and more and more, and all of these issues just seem to be continuously open, and nothing ever closes or passes over. Okay, with William and the Rose Hanbury affair, it popped for a minute, and now it just seems like it's gone, like it never happened, and most people have already forgotten about it, and yet it's really quite significant. Okay, that's not what's happening with Meghan. Her father, Thomas Markle, is a constant festering sore, okay, in their relationship. The conflict with Kate is a constant and growing, festering sore. Now there's, all these conflicts with Meghan. Nothing passes over. Nothing is ever resolved. Look how differently it is for Meghan versus William, for instance. Look how differently it's working out. Why is that? You have to ask yourself that. Okay, is this payback? Fox, Crossroads, karmic relationship, 11 and 12, 23, Six Hearts, karmic relationship. In case of 2 sixes, mustard seed, messages, decisions about messages in the karmic relationship, clever choices in the relationship and messages. So again, this is planned. The snake and the fox are the most clever cards, okay, in the deck. And so, here's something to note. The most clever cards in the deck, the most plotting and clever and crafty cards in the deck are both queens. Why? Because that's the energy. Male energy is much more direct. Female energy is much more indirect and more plotting and crafting and clever. Okay, and that's how the cards read, because that's the truth. Okay, so moving the pieces around in the relationship and sending the message. So is this payback for the attacks on Will and Kate? Yes, it is. They are moving the pieces around, and mustard seed is a literal message. So yeah, this is part of a plan. They're doing this on purpose. Is the queen now working to remove Meghan from the palace? Okay, is the queen now working to remove Meghan from the palace? Has she decided it's just gotten so bad that we need to get Meghan out of the palace? We're going to get rid of Meghan, either send her to Africa. Right now they've silenced Meghan. Wow, Meghan loves the press. She's the most public person in the world. She lives, breathes, and moves press. She just didn't show up for Ascot. She barely made it to Trooping the Color. It would have been over for Meghan if she didn't go to Trooping the Color. They have completely silenced Meghan, one of the most public people in the world who absolutely loves the celebrity life. That's her whole thing. Okay, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's her personality. That's what is. She wants to be in the public eye for everything. Okay, and they've completely silenced her. Currently, is the Queen working to remove Meghan from the palace at this time? Wow. All right. Roadblock. Blocking the mother and the man. This is Harry. This is Meghan, maybe. 25, 38 diamonds. Cornucopia in everything. It's a disaster. It's a dumpster fire. This could not be turning out worse. Okay? And everything is sticking to Meghan. Let's take Bill Clinton, for instance. I did not have sex with that woman. He faced impeachment. The Congress or the Senate, they actually voted to impeach Bill Clinton. He skated through all of it, and he was guilty, and he lied to investigators, but he was not impeached. It's really got technical. I think maybe he was impeached, but he remained in the presidency. He didn't resign. And at the time, I thought he was I do think he was a brilliant president, and I think he did a good job. Now I don't have such a favorable opinion of him, looking back on his actions. Because the Clintons just seem to be New World Order people and just very kind of underhanded in their dealings. And they've stolen a lot of money. And they may be involved in child trafficking, in human trafficking. Which people are talking about that. Where is Archie? Where is Archie? Where is Archie? This is another thing that's sticking to Meghan. Where is Archie? And her Clinton PR, they're saying, well, she's Clinton PR, and the Clintons were involved in human trafficking. So maybe this child they don't even have an Archie yet, and they're sourcing an Archie through human trafficking. Okay, so is the Queen working to remove Meghan from the palace? Block and completely end this by, this is almost as bad as the devil. So yeah, she's trying to remove Meghan and Harry from the palace right now. Because Harry's with her. Harry's showing as an honest man, she's showing as a mother. Blocking their actions. They're being systematically removed from everything. Now Meghan's being attacked. Is the Queen setting up a divorce for Meghan and Harry? So yes, she's trying to remove them at this point, I think. I think she's trying to remove them. She's working a long-term plan to end this. Is the Queen setting up a divorce? Cornucopia, Coffin, Joker. Interesting. Okay, it's the Queen setting up a divorce. Coffin is an ending, and this is a new life of everything. An ending to everything. 12. Conflict. 3 spades. An ending to everything in the conflict and a completely new life. The butterfly is an ugly caterpillar that eats and eats and eats and then comes and reemerges as a butterfly. A completely new life and a new journey forward. So, yes, Coffin is an ending. It's a final ending. It's like death. It's death. Death and a new life. She is trying to resurrect Harry. Okay, and a lot of people are talking about that. Well, gosh, Meghan is she's the degree wife. She's only going to be there for 3 years max, and then Harry's going to divorce her, and he's going to marry somebody else like Chelsea Daly. Chelsea Oh boy, I need to remember her name. Blonde Chelsea from South Africa. Okay, so the BBC is doing this. Has the general press finally turned against Meghan? Okay, are they going to really start beating up Meghan like they beat up Trump, like they beat up Putin? We are told to hate Trump constantly. CNN is so biased now that, you know, the New York Times won't even, they forbid their reporters from going on CNN now because all CNN does is beat this drum, hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. Are we now going to be told, we were told to love Meghan and ignore everything she does is fantastic, she's beautiful, she's wonderful, and she does have a lot of good qualities. Okay, but now, wow, has the tide turned in the general media against Meghan? Has the tide really turned? Okay, because that's very significant. Has the tide turned? Okay, has the tide turned against Meghan? Cross, solid, permanent relationship. It's a cut, a pain, ow, good woman, beautiful, good woman, permanent in the permanent royal family. No, this is a one-off. 8 and 3, 11, 3 clubs. They're just kind of testing the waters. This is a one-off. Okay, we're not now going to be told, to be preached at, to hate Meghan all the time. That's not going to happen. This is a one-off. This is just a comedy show, and they're just testing the waters and see what people think. You know, if they like it, like, oh, that's funny, you know, that's funny. You know, or are they going to scream and be all up in arms and just lose their mind? And okay, so let's go over this. What is the Queen's involvement? Because surely she knew. Very long-term planning, very strong, working in the best interest of the crown. Things have really taken a turn here. There's been a big change. She's committed to, this is a commitment to doing what's best for the crown and what the world sees. There's been these are both transformation cards, and she wants to, the Queen, of course, wants the glory of England and the solidity of the crown. So I asked, what is this snake? Because the snake is very far-seeing, very long planning. This is all about the conflict. Too many key conflicts and publicizing of key conflict areas in the relationship, 6 hearts, and this direction. So there is a long-term plan in place to keep. The Queen feels that Meghan is disrupting the solidity and the beauty of the royal family. And so she's got a long-term plan in place, and they're working to really change things. And that comes out over these further questions. Okay, is this payback for the attacks on Will and Kate? Yeah, again, a plan. This is a plan and decisions in the relationship and sending messages. Yes, there's a plan in place, and they're working a plan. Okay, this is payback. They're working a plan. Are they planning to remove Meghan from the palace? Absolutely. Okay, but they're going to also catch Harry in this. Harry's also going to be kicked out because it's Harry and Meghan at this point. Meghan can't go without Harry. So the Queen is working a long-term plan to remove Meghan at this point. Are they setting up a divorce? Okay, is the Queen and the Crown, are they setting up a divorce? Yes, a divorce and a new life to go forward, an end to all of this, and a new life. Okay, and the conflict, an end to all of this. The Queen is very unhappy with what she's been seeing between her and Kate, Meghan and William, the PR, all of it. She's unhappy with all of it, and she wants to completely change it and transform it. Yeah, she's very unhappy with it. Okay, now has the general mainstream media turned against Has the mainstream media turned against Meghan finally? Because we're constantly told to love Meghan. We're constantly told to hate Trump. We're told to hate Putin. We're told to love Obama. Okay, we're told to love certain people and hate other people. We're told to love the Clintons. Okay, why? Because that's what they tell us. Okay, are they now going to start telling us to hate Meghan? No, this is a one-off. Meghan is a beautiful, wonderful woman, and she's in the royal family. They're not going that direction at all. They're not going to go Trump CNN on Meghan. Okay, that's not what's going to happen. Okay, so interesting. So definitely the Queen, she knew about it. Definitely. There's no way the Crown didn't know about it, and there's a long-term plan in place to remove Meghan from the house and for divorce at this point. They're starting to execute that plan. That's how I see it. That's your royalty today. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment.